Welcome to the family with
Officer Dave,
Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk,
J-L Cauvin,
and Cassie Schrader sitting in for Andy Bernard.
Let's God, I get J-L Cauvin, but you sound like you should be like the head of a large company.
I agree. My full name is Jean-Louis Cauvin, which sounds
Jean-Louis Cauvin,
like a powerful French company. But my father is actually Haitian, so just to put everybody's mind at ease, I brought my own pets.
You'd eat your own pets.
Here we go.
Yeah, so everybody's safe. I bring a to-go bag when I leave home.
Your father is Haitian?
He was, yeah. He passed away, but
He passed away?
he was Haitian, and my mother is an extremely pale Irish-American woman.
So, yeah, they met in the middle?
Yeah, so giant Adam Sandler is what they birthed.
That's a good start, JL.
That's what you get when you mix those two.
Honest to God. So, as I have people claiming there are videos of the cats and the dogs. Other people say that never happened. Is there any way to find out what actually is true?
At this point, no. I think we've gone beyond the ability to find out truth anymore because, and that's deep fakes aren't even in the mainstream yet. Like eventually they'll just be able, whether it happened or not, they'll just be able to make a video of someone eating a cat and go, look. And then you'll go, maybe it's fake, probably fake, but who knows?
Who knows what it's all about? But was that aimed directly at Haitians, or was it just all immigrants?
I feel like Trump maybe is hoping the Trump Vance ticket. Maybe they're hoping they're doing pretty well with Latinos, maybe versus previous Republicans. So maybe they're like, let's not go after. Is there another immigrant group that doesn't vote as much?
Yeah, there you go.
Haitians, it's Haitians.
You know what I just love about it, JL, is the fact that I grew up in a Democrat family. My mother was a big time Democrat because John F. Kennedy got elected president.
Sure.
We were Catholic, so that was a very big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And then I tried being a Republican for a while and, went that whole route and all the rest of it. And now I've moved to the center, which means everybody hates me.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
As soon as you said that, I said, I don't like this guy anymore.
I don't like you at all anymore. I don't want you near me. No, it's just so much hatred in the world based on politics. Now I can't deal with it.
Yeah, it's become a lot. And my fear is that there's no moment that will maybe bring us, because technology, social media, I feel like it's all thrives on the greater to the division.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see when that will correct itself and all of a sudden everybody will go, hey, everybody, let's put down our phones and talk. You can't even do that with friends. You can't even do that with friends anymore. It's like, hey, just text me. No, don't call me weirdo. How are you going to do that with strangers if your own friends and family prefer to deal with technology?
Exactly.
So,
and that's why you're in the room.
That's right. I did ask if I could Zoom this because I don't like being around people.
No, I understand.
That's how I appeal to young fans. I go, no, I'm weird too.
Oh, you're right. You are correct. I mean, are we talking about under 40 now, or is it still under 35?
No, I actually don't talk to people under 30. That's just a rule. So,
okay. I understand that, by the way.
Interesting enough, when I look at my YouTube metrics, like on videos, a majority, I think 52% of my viewers are 55 and older. And I'm like, geez, why all these old people? And they're like, well, I am 45. In my head, I'm still 29. But I'm like, I'm appealing more to the, that's only 10 years older than me.
But you think about that back in the day, obviously they were 40, 50 years older than me, but I thought people like, the Bob Hopes of the world and all that, I thought they were hilarious.
Right.
And then the younger people came out. I liked all generations of comedy.
Right.
The one thing I'm pissed off about with comedy to this day is I could never say any album name of Richard Pryor. To this day, I cannot say the name of not one of his albums, which does piss me off.
It was like preemptive cancel culture.
It
was a setup. He knew long past when I'm dead, I'm still going to get white people in trouble.
Yeah.
I literally would go to the local record store because when he first started, there were still record stores.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the latest Richard Pryor album? What's the name of it? It's called That Big N is crazy. And then there was Super Big N.
Sure.
And then it's like there were like 3-4 albums in a row I could not say the name of,
Right.
which was a little difficult. But
Bicentennial Patriot.
Exactly. Bicentennial. I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. Changed comedy forever, though, didn't he?
Of course.
Changed it forever.
And it was one of those things that my favorite comic, like as a teenager and early 20s, was Chris Rock. And so that was my first exposure.
Sure.
But then when I got into stand-up, you want to just do your homework a little bit, learn a little bit. I mean, maybe not now. Now you just do crowd work on TikTok and you're a comedian. But I actually wanted to learn the art and the history. And as I listened to Richard Pryor, I was like, oh, clearly this is Chris Rock's hero. Like you can hear it. You can hear the echoes and the inspiration in his, not a copy, but like you can, and it's good to know that sometimes, like where things began. I feel like there's sort of a general lack of curiosity now. It's just what's good for me now and in all things. And that's it. But
nobody researches anything anymore.
No,
just this is what I'm going with.
I think it just starts with when you bring up curiosity. There was a segment on Ted Lasso. You probably did not see that.
I've seen all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso.
Okay. Do you remember he's playing darts with the owner of the team, Richard, and they were making a bet on something.
Like the husband,
the ex-husband,
right? The ex-husband, right?
And Richard was trying to put him down as a coach and made some comments. And Ted Lasso says, I just learned something from Walt Whitman. Don't make a judgment, be curious. And he said, I've all my life, people were making judgments about me. Nobody was curious. And here you're playing darts. You made a judgment that I was a moron, couldn't play darts.
Right.
You didn't ask, did I ever play darts? Well, I did. From the time I was 10 till 16 with my father in a sports bar. And as he beat Richard, and it took some money, and I think Richard kind of went off between his legs, but the curiosity, as you say, people are not curious.
Yeah.
They just start right away with a judgment.
Yeah.
Like I could make a judgment about you because you're almost the same size as Super Dave.
They're pretty close. It is pretty close.
I think JL's a little taller. He's got a couple.
Oh yeah, he's taller, and you've got broader shoulders. But it all works.
But we're
out.
not going to. You're not going to
mince word or break it down that far, Josh.
We won't break it down.
Come on, stand back
curious.
to back so we can see. I'll get the yardstick out.
One of the great things about Pryor, just to go back to him very, very quickly, is before Richard Pryor, I don't think people ever understood that most comedy comes from pain.
Yeah.
Most people had never knew that because you didn't hear the Bob Hopes of the world talking about how tough his childhood was or any of that stuff. But that's because I grew up without a father. He was taken away to a mental institution.
Wow.
We're raised by my mother, 7 kids in the family, very, very poor neighborhood, all the rest of it. So even though I'm white, he was black, which they still love to argue about. I can't possibly get along. It's like, relax.
Right.
But when I heard him talking, I heard him talking about things that I understood flat out. I mean, his grandmother ran a whorehouse. His mother was one of the whores. I mean, it's like,
sex worker.
Sex worker. Yeah, you're
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I was
PC
talking about
Tom.
when I was 14 years old.
Back then they were whores.
They were, yes, back then it was
They hadn't rebranded yet. They didn't have a good publicist.
Well, I want to know: do they have a union? Is there minimum wage? Is there a pension? Is there a health care plan?
Oh boy.
Definitely not a health care plan. That one I'm sure of.
No,
So they're all independent contractors.
Yes.
You got
Not his
1099.
401k distribution.
Well, no, if they're self-employed, they could set up a simplified employee pension or
Here
profit
we go into the
sharing plan.
financial stuff. See that segment
Right.
I gave you?
Yeah,
Just give us
there you go.
anybody's
Thank
social
you very
security
much.
number for your 1099.
Yes, exactly. That'll work. That'll work magnificent. You know that I guess they've got that covered to the point now that people used to steal social security numbers, but it doesn't even matter anymore. From what I heard from a financial. Yeah, what's your take on that, Josh? That if you lose your social security number in public, it's not that big a deal like it used to be.
I really don't think so.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
I don't think so, but there's a lot of things attached to your social security number.
Yeah.
So like you want to get this enhanced driver's license that they're requiring. It's not just show up to the DMV and say, I'd like to upgrade to this enhanced driver's license. Here is my current license that has my picture, has my address, has my birth date. Nope. You need to bring in your social security card, not a copy of your social security card, the original social security card. And by the way, bring in your birth certificate, bring in a proof of
Residence.
Residence through a utility bill.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You bring in your passport, and I was asked, could you please bring in your tax statement or W-2?
What?
Yeah,
thinking,
that's
Good God.
what?
Yeah.
I said, I am self-employed. I do not have a
Did it hurt when they
W-2.
set the hook, Josh?
That's when they said,
That was it. When I was, I think, 19 years old, I didn't pay attention as well as I should have. And I washed a pair of red pants that I owned at the time. And my social security card was in there.
Boy.
oh, look
been
at that.
pink.
It's still there.
Hold it
It's
up
been
higher.
pink for, yes, I hold it a little higher. Yeah.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, off camera, please.
but it's
Tom.
still pink. I just said, why do you have a pink social security card?
'Cause you
Well,
were fancy.
I was a communist.
yes, I was a communist. That's exactly
That's
right.
how they distinguished
Boy,
us.
Is that what happened? Is that what happened to those pants that when I first met you, you had these pink pants? Originally, they were red.
No, those were Zubas.
They were the Zubas.
They were the Zubas.
Oh,
No
Zubas.
question. As a matter of fact, I met him because a friend of mine and I were flying back from Chicago, and we decided to get up on the airplane and do stand up from the front of the airplane the whole way back.
Oh, have you sued Southwest Airlines for stealing your act?
I should have. You're absolutely right. Just steal it. No, they didn't think it was that funny, so they didn't even bother to steal it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I was wearing red and black Zubas, I do believe, on that flight.
That's correct.
God, unbelievable.
Do we have pictures of that? I remember those pants.
Oh, the Zubas.
Yes.
Those guys, I used to lift weights with both those guys. The Road Warriors, they're the ones who came up with Zubas.
Oh, wow.
There's no question. I could tell that bench press story again, if you don't mind. You ever lifted weights?
Geez, they used to not have to ask me that.
You're so big, you had to.
Isn't that the moment? Like when I used to get, like when I was 30, people would say, "Who do you play for?"
Yeah.
And now I get, "Did you ever play sports?" I'm like, oh man, yes, I did. It's been a rough couple of years.
Were you a tight end?
No, I played basketball.
Oh, you played basketball?
Yeah.
But you would have been a great tight end.
Mhm.
Well, the thing is, I sort of, when I went to college, I was 6'6", 200 pounds. And then I got home after
sure.
freshman year, I was 6'7", 240.
God.
And I remember my dad looked at me and he said, "What did you do to your back?" Because I was like, "It's called being a man." But I
Very
remember
true.
seeing all these guys in the NFL, not that I would have been that level. And I had friends who said, "You should go out for tight end like junior, senior year." I said, "The problem is I've never played football. So I feel like a year or two, just like basketball, I had the little things you don't even think about from playing your whole life. I won't have any of the instincts or anything of a football player. I'll be like, you have to teach me how to play.
Mhm.
And then after I'm done getting destroyed, I graduate and that's it."
You're good to go.
So that's why I think some of the guys like Antonio Gates and I think Jimmy Graham, these guys who just were like, "Yeah, I'll go play football
Natural
now."
talent.
And like,
Yep.
you're an all pro. That's incredible to
Yep.
me.
No question, but very, very quickly, because I have had people, because I brought this up about a week ago, and I've had to tell a story about 15 times now because people on the street go, "Tell me that story." But back in the day, I just lost 91 pounds because I used to weigh 315 because I was a big power lifter back
Oh, wow.
in the day. And then I got older and wasn't so much a power lifter anymore. It was kind of fat guy.
You're getting up from the chair is powerlifting.
Yeah, exactly. So I just lost 91. I'm going to lose about another 10 pounds, get down 101 pounds. But in any case, this story kept coming up because he used to go to a place called the Gym out in Plymouth.
Mhm.
And the Road Warriors, and we lifted with all those guys. It was a bunch of professional wrestlers and me. That's who
Wow.
it was, that whole deal. So I go out there one day and this kid runs up to me and he goes, Tommy, I got to tell you something. I say, "What's up?" He goes, "Is Joe coming?" Joe was one of the Road Warriors. let me put. Well, I could say which one he was.
an animal.
Hawk and animal. He was animal, right? So he said, "Is Joe coming today?" I said, "Yeah." As a matter of fact, he'll be here in a couple of minutes. I just talked to him. He goes, "Well, Tommy, I got to tell him. It's very, very important. I'm so excited." And I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And he goes, "Well, don't tell him because I want to be the one to tell Joe." I said, "Yeah, no problem. I just bench pressed 300 pounds for the first time." I said, "Well, congratulations. That's great. That's quite an achievement. I'm proud of you. Not everyone can do that. Very few people can do that." And then Joe did come in, and the kid runs over and he goes, Joe, I already told Tommy this, and I want to tell you." He goes, "Yeah, what's that?" He goes, "Today, I'm so proud of myself. I just bench pressed 300 pounds for the first time." And actually, Joe used the entire word when he said, "Big effing deal."
Yep.
And he also said, "What an effing wasted time." So if you can only bench press 300, why even bothering?
Get out of here.
But again, I also realized at the end, do you know what the bench press record is now?
Just like world record.
World record bench press.
Is there somebody who's put up like 900?
1150.
1150.
What? Isn't that like a car?
It's kind of like
Not
lifting
quite.
a car.
That's about a quarter of a car.
quarter of a car?
1150.
Wow.
I mean, back in the day, it was true. If you could bench press 300 pounds,
You were doing good.
yeah, you were what, in the top 5%
Oh, yeah.
probably of people in the world. And now it's 1150. It's like, whoa.
See, in college, my senior year, I did 315 for 4 reps.
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah, all right. And
Yeah.
but you hear 11, or even when the guy, he just passed away, the Dallas Cowboy, Larry Allen,
Oh, Larry Allen, yeah.
705, and he did that 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, that's what people don't get. That's not like double what I could do.
Right.
It's more like exponential when you get up to that level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 1150 is just, I don't actually want to be anywhere near the person who can do that.
You meant the bar going like this.
Right.
Exactly.
Because if that guy, like, what if I look at that guy the wrong way? He just like crushes me.
That's
like,
all right. You can just slide right around because he's going to be like, he's going to be so muscle bound he can't move.
Yeah. Oh.
One of the things we should point out, because both you guys know this, and I have very short legs and very long arms. I'm pretty much an ape. There's no question. I do. I have 31-inch legs and 37-inch arms. That's
Wow.
very odd.
Yeah.
But you guys have very long. It's a bitch to move all that weight
Yep.
all the way up.
I have long, but I have long arms for a regular person, but for a guy my height, I don't have
Well,
long
I
arms,
suppose, yeah.
I suppose.
and I have really long legs. So I don't know what sport that's actually
Powerlifting
good
wouldn't
for.
be good for you. No.
Yeah, maybe not.
No. And
Yeah,
I've always been a puller, so I pull the weights. And when I was in high school, 300 was like you were a god.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
And I was hitting 275, 280, 290, boom, 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 and I got out right on the verge and was like, God dang it. And then I got out of high school, and like you, I went away to college and I hit the gym every day. And I put on 2 inches. I grew to 6'4", went from 225 to about 275.
Change your name to Brock Lesnar, and the rest is history.
And it was just like, holy buckets. And then I was putting up 460. That was my top ever.
460s is a lot of
Don't
weight.
say you say that like, hey, that's awesome.
But that was a long time ago too. It's like,
I'd always wanted to get to 405 because 405 is
Oh,
4
405,
plates,
yeah,
and
yep.
I think my 1 rep max would have been like I said, maybe 340 or something, 350.
Mhm.
But 405 was never, and 460. That's awesome.
that was a long time ago, and I got the stretch marks to prove it.
Well, I should point out also he used pulling. He said I was a puller. What he means is he's a cop, so he pulls people out of their vehicles so he can beat the shit out of them.
You got to do the
You gotta do
the
lat row,
rows
yeah,
and everything.
exactly.
That's a very important
That's
exercise
exactly
at the
right.
cop combine every year. Whoever can do the most dumbbell rows, they're like first pick.
I love it. Now, Josh, you do some working out. You
From
do
our
work-
cross country department.
There
Right,
you
yeah,
go.
some
That's
cross
pretty
He
good.
actually
There
does.
you
Yes,
go.
that and his exercise bike that he'll do the show on in the
Yeah.
wintertime.
Yeah, I can put up a lot of weight, maybe 50 pounds.
Nice.
50, yeah, hey, whatever works. There's no
That's
question
that's
about
not too bad for a 70-year-old.
As long as you do it a few dozen times, you're building muscle.
Well, last night I broke a record. I actually got to carry in 11 grocery bags in
it. Oh
one
my
trip.
God.
Wow.
You have children.
Nobody was home.
Oh, for
11
crying out
of
loud,
them.
Cassie.
Yeah.
Where
nobody
were all 11 of them?
They're, well,
They all
most-
left at the same time?
No, a lot of them are in school right now because school's in session.
11 kids.
No.
I
Yes.
didn't give birth. Yeah,
Well,
but
she
there
didn't
were-
give birth to them. but she-
I gave birth to 3. I contributed 3.
Okay.
And Dave really took the biblical phrase, go forth and
Multiply.
multiply. And
Yes,
Dave
he
has
did.
done it 8 times. So, but yeah, I got
11
8
kids.
stepchildren, 3 of my own. But yeah, I had to carry in a bunch of groceries. I'm like, I am such in pain. I don't want to go back out there. So I was like, I had grocery bags just hanging on my arms like this, and I'm walking up to the door, and I'm just like, it was awful. But I did it.
Good for you.
Wow.
One,
How
ba-
big of a
house do
one
you
bag
have?
per kid.
Yeah, one bag
Wow.
per kid. That's
How old
exactly.
are
Here's
these
your
children?
food for the week.
Hey, what's the span? What's the age span of the children?
Dave's oldest is 40.
40.
Yeah.
Did he have the kid when he was 7?
14. That's the one he
Oh,
didn't
14.
know. That was the
I
one
was
he
kidding.
didn't know he had until back in
Oh
2017.
yeah.
But
Oh.
so at the time, his oldest was Clev, who was born in 88. And he's 30. I can't do math right now. But
About 35, 36.
but Dave's youngest is Damien. He just turned 14, 15.
Something like
And
that.
then mine's the youngest out of all the kids, and he's 12. That's Max. And
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
he's the caboose. But now we got,
Caboose.
got-
Thanks, Mom.
but now we got grandkids coming in the mix.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
So with 8 grandkids, and we got quite a few kids that are still in school. So I have a feeling probably in 10 years, the Schrader family is going to take over Minnesota.
That'll be it. We'll be done with it.
Yep.
As we move on, I have a grandson who's about a couple of months short of being 3 years old.
Mhm.
He is very tall and weighs 40 pounds, and not an ounce of it is fat.
Mm-hmm.
How
Jeez.
did that happen?
I saw
I mean, the
my
kid's got
boys
shoulders
were.
like this broad, and he's
Because
not
that
even.
kid never stops moving.
Oh, he never stops.
He runs
moving.
in his
You're right
sleep.
about
I'll guarantee.
Wow.
He does. There's no question.
Christ, my boys were all, by the time they hit 1 year old, they were all 30 pounds. And
Yeah.
they weren't they were big boys,
Yeah.
and none of them walked till after they were 1.
Dang
I'm like-
Get out! Get moving!
It's like I got 2 kids. I'm like walking. It's like trying to carry butterball turkeys everywhere, the 30-pound turkey. And I'm just like, God, will you learn how to walk? But my boys were so big.
Mhm.
They were top heavy. I mean, my son Charlie, though, he doesn't have the weight on him, but he's about 6'3" now. I don't know how I gave birth to such
What is going on in
Gigantic.
Minnesota is my question.
gigantic
Oh, it's
children.
true.
The Vikings? It's all the Viking and Iceland?
I'm not kidding you, Dale. The women in this town, a lot of them are like 6'2", 6'3".
Can we get that out there that I'm 6'7" in case that's like a siren call for audience members? Like,
go.
like giant, there's a giant telling jokes. Let's go. Get
Oh, we
the
should mention,
tickets.
Where are you going to be this weekend?
Laugh Camp,
Okay.
Friday night, Saturday night, 8 p.m. each night. So very
That's
excited.
That's
It's my
awesome.
first time
Taken
back
care
in
of.
Minnesota. I think, I want to say since 2018, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Really that long?
Yeah, well, there was obviously a couple years.
Well,
in there.
that's
Yeah.
and
true.
then
Shut her down.
yeah.
There's that COVID thing.
That COVID
Oh,
deal.
man.
So, but I was going to say I was 10 pounds 7 ounces at birth.
That was 11.
Jeez, it's not a contest.
No, but I-
Here's me at 8.
But I didn't grow to be 6'7". When I was born, I was.
Yeah, but you were
20
bench pressing with the Road Warriors.
Yeah, that's true. I was 23 inches tall and I weighed 11 pounds when I was born. My name is Thomas for the reason I was so big in my mother's womb, they thought I was twins, because Thomas means twin. Right?
Wow.
So when I was born, they were very disappointed.
Just
That's
one?
it. That's it. This is this guy.
Just this guy.
You ate the other one.
I ate this. That's exactly what happened.
That's how you came out 11 pounds.
No question about it. Natural childbirth too. I don't know how the hell my mother did that.
C-section.
Toots was tough. I'm telling you.
Wow.
My
Well,
mother-
sometimes you don't have a choice, Tom.
Well, they just come out.
Yep, that's how it was for me.
Yeah, no
Although
question about it.
I was pretty fortunate that I did go quickly with my children because I couldn't imagine having to be in 12 hours of that pain. I mean, I went from like 0 to 60. Like when I'd start labor, my boys were out in 2 hours, all 3 of them.
Oh, see, Cheryl went 24 hours.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
And our oldest one, he was getting ready, and we're waiting for the doctor to come in, and the nurse is there, and she's doing all the checking, keeping tabs, and doctor walks in, sits down, and Tommy starts to come out, and all of a sudden the nurse goes, "Oh my God, that is not something you want to hear."
Oh my God!
With the doctor, ready to catch, and all of a sudden she says, "Look at the shoulders."
Oh yeah,
and it was like,
oh, football player.
Oh.
Wow.
And, now he's 6'4", 6'5", probably 280, 290 pounds.
Jesus.
Wow.
But he doesn't lift weights. He doesn't want to get any bigger or stronger. He's like,
And he's only 8, by the way.
Yeah,
He's only 8 years old.
32, thank you. But yeah.
Wow.
It's just, I see you walk around aching pains all the time. I'm not going to do that to my son. Good boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
To close the thing out, I would say this, that when I was born, my mother had to tell me as soon as I could remember the story. She said, your voice has always been like that. I said, what do you mean? She said, when you were born, it was like, wow. What? Where
I could just seriously, Tom, I can imagine you just coming out with a cigarette in one hand,
drinking the other,
drink in the other. You're like, hey, what's up?
What's that?
I'm here.
We just gave birth to Ron White.
Oh God, I miss him. I haven't seen Ron in a while. Have you seen him?
No.
God, I used to love running into him. He was a great guy.
Where's he from? He's not from
Texas.
around here.
No,
Texas, right?
Yeah.
This was one of their biggest markets, though. That
Blue collar
comedy
Oh,
tour.
okay.
They were huge in this market.
There's a lot of us rednecks up here. Yeah.
Bill Engvall's doing really well.
Bill's a good guy.
Yeah, my buddies Jamie Kaler and Jason Gowan, who did the Parents Lounge, they have him on pretty regularly.
Oh, that's
And
good.
yeah, he's actually an ordained minister now.
Who is?
Bill Engvall.
Don't you have to make up for old times and become a minister?
I don't know.
Like
I think he took like some courses, some college courses to become a pastor.
I didn't know. I just talked to him a couple of months ago. He never mentioned that to me.
Well, what was he promoting though?
Nothing. Oh, he just called because he and those guys gave my old. I did a morning show at a radio station here for 37 years, and they came to town and weren't selling any tickets. He said, by the time we were off your show, they booked us for 7 more nights.
Wow.
Wait, let me check my phone real quick.
We had the largest audience and we had the #1 audience in America.
Wow.
It was a huge show.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we got a new GM that had to blow me out because I didn't agree with her politics. True story.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay, well, that's real brilliant. They now are in 17th place, by the way. Let me throw that at you. Anyway, getting back to a positive subject. I got to put my wallet back. I just realized, like, you left your wallet out there.
That wallet is offensively thick.
It is. That's what I thought, and I looked at it and went,
My wallet is very jealous.
They're all ones.
Where are you going afterwards?
Oh, I used to know guys that did that because I grew up, like I said, in the ghetto. There would be guys get nothing but ones, so their wallets were always very thick, but there was all $1 bills.
Or they had the 120, so they put that on the outside of the roll.
They look like a big shot.
Yeah,
no question about it. So now you grew up where?
The Bronx in New York City.
God, I love the Bronx.
Yeah.
Not a Yankee fan at all.
A big Yankee fan.
There's a shock. I do miss the original stadium, though. I got to be honest with you.
No, agreed. It was the new one. I think I remember I wrote something about it. I said the shopping mall that Derek Jeter built.
Yeah,
it's this massive like coliseum of like, look at us, we're the Yankees. Whereas the stadium before, it was a stadium, but it felt more authentic, less like a tourist trap.
I like the new stadium much better.
Oh, do you?
There's better seating. The food is better. It's easier to get around. The bathrooms are much nicer. And if you're sitting in the upper deck in the new stadium, you don't feel like you're going to fall over.
I don't sit in the upper deck. Poor people.
Poor people. Typical.
Well, no, but my issue with the new Yankee Stadium, you say, yes, they have many more
Okay,
food
now-
options, but I have to search now for like, anybody got a hot dog and pretzel anywhere
No, it
around
does
Right.
here?
not exist. Does not
I don't want
exist.
sushi
Yeah,
or a
exactly.
pizza or a farmer's market. I'm at a baseball game. Oh, I think over there's one hot dog guy.
I am with you 100%. I miss the old dome dogs. I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
Oh,
they
those
were
are
pretty
so
good. I
good.
heard.
I miss the old dome dogs we used to have.
I lived in 20th Street and 2nd Avenue, New York for years. I did a lot of voiceover back then. So I was living in New York and having a good time and all of that. Is anybody here clicking in their headphones, or am I just going dead?
Yours might be going dead.
Yes, it must be. But 3 things I will tell you about the original stadium that I will never, ever get over is, I came in there and I had my wallet in my back pocket. That's the reason I even thought of this whole thing. And I'm cheering for the Yankees because they're not playing the Twins. So I could cheer for the Yankees at the time. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Yankees are pretty good against the Twins.
It's embarrassing. I'm sorry. I know it's almost like, oh no, we're on a 20-game losing streak. What will stop? Oh, 4 games with the Twins. Let's go. It's a weird, even when the Twins are really good, it's a weird like thing where it's just like,
It's
we're going to
true.
beat the Twins. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So there's the wallet thing. So I stand up I'm cheering for the Yankees. And after about 3 innings, the guy behind me taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "Hey kid, you're not from here, are you?" I said, "No, I just moved into town. So I do live here now, but I'm not from here." And he goes, "Get your wallet out of your back pocket." And I went, "Ooh, okay."
Yes, sir.
So I put that in the front pocket. He said, "That thing's going to be gone." Then during the game, God, who the hell? I think it was Billy Martin, as a matter of fact. Now he had to be the manager by then. I can't remember who the hell it was, but that was a different time. It was before I lived there. Billy Martin was a Yankee, and Mickey Mantle was still playing. And Mickey Mantle stopped playing when, like the late 60s, early 70s, something like that.
I think late 60s.
Late 60s. That's about right, because I was a little kid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I wasn't look. I was a teenager. So yeah, I was 18, 19 years old. And Billy Martin hits a double and steals third. Mickey Mantle comes up and crushes a ball to right field. Remember how short that porch was in right field? Crushes the ball to right field. It's the second it left his bat, you knew it was gone. And I'm watching it go out, and it just clears the wall by about 50 feet. I look over at third, and Billy Martin's tagging up, which I thought was great. But then the final part of it, and this is why I will always like the original stadium more, I got invited to go into the Yankee locker room, which was really, really cool. I never thought that would happen, but a couple of people I worked with who were very close to the team and all that. I mean, not as close as like the Dean Martin and Jackie Gleasons of the world.
Right.
Who was it? Frank Sinatra, I believe it was, at a Yankee game once threw up in Jackie Gleason's cowboy boots.
Wow.
Because Gleason had taken him off. So he leans over and vomits into his cowboy boots. But that stadium, just honest to God, I will never forget there. And I'm standing in the locker room, and I all of a sudden looked down and realized I was standing in front of Babe Ruth's locker, because it was marked in a very special way, which I hadn't noticed because my back was to it. But just to stand where Babe Ruth once stood what a feeling that was. I mean, still probably the greatest player of all time, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Bonds was on roids guy. So and the thing is, when people say I go, Bonds was a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yes.
But what he did post 35 was obscene, because what he was doing was not legit. But the only person I can see is if like Ohtani gets back to pitching. Because what he's doing as a all-star pitcher, all-star hitter is evokes Babe Ruth,
the
literally
player,
Babe Ruth.
Yes.
So, but no, I think, obviously you play against the competition you play against, and statistically, guys like Ted Williams, obviously.
Oh God.
But Ruth, there's a reason he still holds so many records.
No question about that. I mean, no, I am still pissed off though that they shut down the Carnegie Deli. I just want you to know that I blame you because
No,
as a New Yorker, it's your fault. I loved going to the Carnegie Deli back in the day, and one of the reasons was because of Henny Youngman.
Oh.
That's how long ago it was.
Take my sandwich, please.
There you go. Exactly.
Speaking of sandwich at Carnegie Gall, you have to tell your story.
Yep.
You have to tell.
Oh, the other one, who I
Yep.
was sitting at the table with.
Yep.
You can't say that without
You
saying
can't
that
just
story.
leave us hanging. You
Okay,
can't
well,
leave jail.
I'll tell the Henny Youngman story first because
Okay.
every time he walked into Carnegie Deli, he makes some smart ass comment to the servers, all women, of course.
Uh-huh.
First time I ever saw him, he walks in the front door, and this waitress was dressed quite attractively, and he's walking by and he goes, "Hey, how you doing? How's it?" So you're going to have to play the female server in this one.
Oh, I gotta do it. Okay.
You have. So he's like, "Hey, how you doing? How's everything going? Hey, Tom, how's everything going? Hey, honey, your tits are showing." I'm like, oh my God. So I go in there, one of the first, well, I think it was the first time I went to Carnegie Deli. I'm sitting at this table with this guy and we're talking, the food was just spectacular. And I'm, just talking to this guy. He's got a British accent. I was going, that's kind of cool. I said, so you're obviously British. You ever been to Carnegie before? And he goes, oh yeah, every time I come to town, I eat here and all the rest of it. And turns out it was Robert Plant. And I didn't even know. I mean, you would go to that place in the day and you'd run into every celebrity that ever lived.
Wow.
They all went to the Carnegie Deli back in the day. Now, somebody told me there's a little version of it somewhere in New York, but not the original one.
Yeah, that I don't. I mean, I remember. I know a big deli now is Katz.
Cats, yeah.
In the Lower East Side, but I remember I went there the first time I went there. I said there must be a mistake. This is extremely expensive. I don't know if anybody's told you, but you're a deli.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Do you know the cost of that corned beef and the pastrami? If you're going to Katz's,
Is it very expensive?
it's very expensive.
All right.
It's very expensive. And Katz's is tremendous. I pulled out my credit card. Sorry, sir. Over there's a cash machine only.
Yeah,
Only cash.
only cash.
Only
That is
cash
true.
at Katz's.
Whenever a business is only cash, I mean, I feel like it's just sort of saying tax fraud.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's
It's
a good
just
point.
at this point, it's not 1990. At this point, if you're like, we only operate in cash, it's like, all right, that's a red flag.
It's them
What do you-
merch fees, I'm telling you.
As a nice Jewish boy, what do you think of that, Josh?
Paying cash?
No, the fact that they might not have been paying all their taxes.
It's not my problem.
Yeah, that's a very
That's
good way to
not my problem.
The hot dog is $11 for a customer and $5 for the IRS.
Well, there you go.
Not my problem.
God, do you have any financial tips we should know about? I don't want you coming in here on a Friday and not giving us any tips on how to make money.
Don't buy banks. Don't buy energy companies. And definitely right now, don't buy Boeing.
Oh, God.
No, Boeing's got a lot of problems.
Boeing has got some big problems. Their union said to management, up your nose with a rubber hose.
God.
Well, language, please.
Yeah, language, please.
Your
Exactly.
contract,
That's exactly it.
the contract that you offered us was only a 25% increase in wages
Ooh.
over the next 4 years. And we haven't had a wage increase in 16.
Hmm.
So
16 years,
yeah,
really?
that was their last
Wow.
last
Man,
contract.
That's something else.
And the cost of living here in Seattle, or the Seattle metropolitan area, is out of sight.
Mhm.
So we have trouble affording to be here. Not to mention, of course, the union that's dealing with it, the machinist union, is a tough union to begin with.
But my question is, if they go on strike, won't the quality of the Boeing planes stay the same?
That's a very good point,
I know.
actually.
For my
That's
pod.
a good point.
The door is supposed to stay on. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they didn't stay on
Oh.
before, so nobody's going to notice. If
Didn't we
they,
need that engine?
Oh, my God. I tackled Boeing for my first episode on my true crime
Oh,
podcast.
you did?
Yeah, because I was just like, I watched the documentary, The Downfall of Boeing.
Mhm.
And with my son being a pilot,
Oh,
and
wow.
I love, airplanes. I've always loved it. I wanted to be a pilot when I was a kid. My vision was so bad I couldn't.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But so I wanted to tackle that because it was just every other day something was going wrong with Boeing planes. I'm like, I don't even know if people know the depravity that Boeing has become as a corporation.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And the stuff that they were hiding is obscene. And now I have Dave paranoid every time he flies. He's like, what plane am I on? I don't dare tell him it's a 737-800.
No.
It's like, you're fine, honey. You're fine. Like the other day when he came home, he's like, why is there hot air coming in from the window? And I'm like, you're okay, honey. You're okay. And yeah, he's just very paranoid. But hey, I don't know what happened to Boeing, but what I was digging up, I was not happy to see. And I do not want to be on a Boeing plane anymore. I can tell you that.
Boy.
When was he on the plane?
The plane that he was on that had the hot air, that was just the other day. And it was a Boeing 737.
He was flying on a 9/11 in a plane that was unsafe. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's kind of the...
I didn't tell him it was a 737.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't tell him. I'm like, you're fine, honey.
Did you tell him it was 9/11? Man.
Well, he knew it that, but yeah, he's just it's scary though, because we entrust these companies
Oh yeah,
to get us from one destination to the other one safely. And when parts are falling off a plane, that's a friggin' problem.
it's just the door. Like I said, it's not that big a deal. You got to get off at some point anyway.
Oh, God.
What's your podcast called, Cassie?
It's called Mysteries, Mayhem, and Merlot.
So you booze it up during the whole thing.
I did. I was drinking wine.
I did.
I was, but with all my health issues I've been recently dealing with, I'm trying to stay away from alcohol because I don't want it to interact with any type of medications that I'm on. Yeah, I've been taking a lot of new medications. So, but yeah, but my guests are more than happy to have a glass of Merlot if they would like to chat.
I mean, you and I have that in common because I stopped drinking 12 years ago for the very same. Oh no, it was a different reason. I think it might
Guess
be
who doesn't drink
to kill
anymore? You.
That would be my wife. Hey, Tom, guess who doesn't drink anymore? That'd be you.
That was the
Okay,
best.
yes, dear. I could get a little aggressive when I drink.
Yes.
I know it's hard to believe, but
I loved waking up to the morning of Tom's tweets. I'm like, oh, he was up drunk texting again in the middle of the night.
Boy, thanks for bringing that up. I feel much better.
Hey, you want to know it? Those are the moments you can look back and laugh and say, hey, I got through it. I'm in a better place now.
We slogged through it. It's
you
absolutely
just
true.
Look back and laugh at it.
Oh, I don't know about laughing at it necessarily, but
it was entertaining. I'm not going to lie, Tom.
That's the same thing that Kristen Bird tells me. She said she used to read my tweets every morning because she'd get a good laugh out of how pissed off I was at the world.
Yeah,
Meet me outside.
We were gauging Tommy's mood that day by what he was texting at 3 a.m.
And because it was somebody be an asshole and they're, I don't like this show. Yeah, your show sucks. Oh yeah, meet me out front. I'll be out there in 10 minutes. Settle down, you big
Good
baby.
times.
Well, that's like a lot of things. You can turn the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
You can turn the channel. You don't have to be on Twitter. You don't have to be on Facebook.
No, it's true.
But it's all about them. Now they are tasked with having to deal with scrolling past your post.
Oh yeah.
I have to turn the channel so I don't have to be offended. What is happening? Why isn't this about me? That's the mentality.
The haters always make sure they watch and listen to every episode of the people they hate so they can.
They seek misery.
Yep.
That's what they said about Howard Stern when he started. I remember in that movie Private Parts, they're like, the people who like him listen for 30 minutes. The people who hate him listen for 2 hours.
Yes.
No, that's
Yes.
true. Well, there was just what was it? I can't remember what the post was about, but there were like 700-800 people responded to this post that I put up. And so I try to thank everybody so I'm checking it down. And I got through like about 325. And the next one was, I hate you. I was like, really?
I guess I'm done today.
I hate you. I've always wondered about that. Whether comedians go through that. Comedians go through,
Sure.
I hate all your comedy. I hate you. It's like, you don't have to listen.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to the show. You don't have to come to my shows.
My favorite thing though is whenever, a video goes up and it's got, 250 positive comments. And then somebody just goes, you should give up. This isn't good. And I go, I mean, pick your battles. At least pick a video that isn't doing well. Don't, it's like you win the Oscar and they're like, your movie sucks, by the way. It's like, okay, I'll go with this. I'll go with this, but thank you for weighing in. Person I don't know and will never know and has done nothing.
I gotta imagine you don't get a lot of hecklers when you're towering over them.
No, I don't. Not a lot of hecklers. Obviously, online people just think I'm this tall.
Genius.
Yeah, but no, not a lot. I did get heckles early, a couple early in my career, but they were never like confrontational.
Oh, okay.
And then I didn't know how to deal with it, so I would. But the thing I realized is I would you heckle me 20 years ago and I go, hey, shut up. And then all of a sudden the people who are on my side are like, oh no, King Kong looks very upset. Are we all okay?
Are we in danger? I get that sometimes too.
I'm sure you do. I'm scared of you right now.
Don't be.
But you're like a teddy bear that bench presses 400 pounds.
Yeah.
A mix of emotions.
Used to
get it done.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, now I just use sort of sarcasm and stuff because I don't want to shift the tone to me. So, and it's usually the heckling is often women now sort of like, yelling stuff or not liking your joke. Like guys don't heckle me. And I'm no tough guy, but obviously you yell at a comic, anybody aggressively enough, it's going to get confrontational, maybe not physical, but women don't have that same
They don't
fear.
have a filter. Once they put a couple of glasses of Merlot in them.
I know.
And then all of a sudden that filter's gone.
All of a sudden the murder and mayhem happens.
Do you have any favorite heckles?
No,
Do you have any favorite heckles?
The one that I still remember, because most of them are like, yeah, you're not funny. Like they're not good.
Yeah.
But when I was new in DC, somebody, I got on stage and just somebody yelled from the crowd, "That's a big bitch."
See, now that's phenomenal. That's fantastic.
And I couldn't be like mad. And I don't even know if they were like calling me like, oh, they knew nothing about me. It even made me kind of chuckle a little bit. But I was also, it was like my first time at the club. And I was like, okay, just do the jokes. I don't know how to respond to that.
Scott, you brought up earlier your father Haitian, your mother Irish. Are there a lot of 6'7" Irish women?
No, I don't know. Everybody asks me where I got my height from. Like my dad's family is tall. He was 6'2", and my mom, she's 80 now. She's shrunk, but she was 5'6" at her peak.
Oh, sure.
So those are good heights, and I think I just got all the height they could provide. Because my older brother's 6'1", which is a solid height, but not anything freakish.
I'm 5 inches taller than all four of my brothers.
Whoa!
I don't know. They were all around 5'8", something like that. And I don't know why I was taller. I have no idea.
It's a crazy thing. This world.
This world is crazy. Damn it! No, I don't think I would heckle you. Well, I'm not a heckler anyway. So
right.
I don't heckle anybody. But I wouldn't pick somebody other than a 6'7" guy.
and it's just, to me, heckling is such a bizarre. Obviously, alcohol is usually kind of what drives it.
Yep.
But heckling to me is just, it's so weird. Honestly, if you think about it, it's like you paid money. You came to the show. I'm doing the show. You're interrupting, like you're messing up what you paid for.
Yeah.
You're messing up why I came to your city or town. It just doesn't. And if you don't like it, I can't make you like my comedy. But
I know
if I'm not attacking you personally, just respect the show.
Yeah,
like if I don't like a play on Broadway, I don't go, this sucks.
Yeah, right.
But for some reason, comedy, we've come to believe that it's like, no, that you can't interrupt music, you can't interrupt a play, but you can interrupt comedy for some reason.
I don't understand that either. Why they think they can say and do whatever they want. Because we don't like it as people in the audience. I don't hear some guy mouthing off to the comedian. Right.
Especially, I mean, you have people, they can sometimes mess up jokes. You're listening to a bit and that's like, you should, and it's like, what? Momentum is part of the process here. You build towards a punchline. And if you screw up that building, So I mean, and I don't think a lot of crowd work videos that are popular now, I think have actually, I don't want to say enhanced it, but they've created an expectation of a dialogue now.
Yeah,
Like
well, that's true.
I've had nice fans like raise their hand in the middle of a bit. And I'm going, this isn't, do you have to go to the bathroom? You can just go. I'm not your teacher. Why are you, I'm in the middle of a thing. And I remember I had I tape all my sets just to review them in case something funny happens that I didn't plan. And I just saw this guy's hand, and he's a very nice guy. Like he's a good fan, but he just kept doing this. And then I said, okay, what's your question? I don't know why you're asking a question, but what is your question? And I think a lot of comics, because they play into the need for TikTok and Instagram to boost your stuff, that stuff tends to boost a little more on social media. So now comics have kind of created a space for that, which I'm not telling anybody how to do their job, but it's like, but if I come in as a traditional stand-up, I should be allowed to just do that and not be like, okay, and now here's 10 minutes of you guys talking.
Yeah, that never used to happen.
No.
I don't know how long ago that was, but you would never hear people heckling comics. And then after a while, every show you went to, somebody'd have to open their mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I paid to get in here. I don't want to hear you talking to the.
I paid to see J-L, not you. Come on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So
Yeah.
shut up. That'd be good. But it just makes no sense. Although Bobby Slayton, oh my God, did he get heckled back in the day? I was seeing him one time, and this guy apparently brought a woman he was dating for the very first time, and she hated Bobby Slayton.
Oh no.
And I love Bobby. He's such a great guy, but literally he's on stage and these two start arguing in full voice with, what the hell did you bring me to this for? I can't believe it. Oh, I thought you'd enjoy. And they got this conversation going. He's up on stage. Oh, God, that was very uncomfortable.
Aww.
See, at least that was a first date though, because like what I've often wondered is I will see and this is when you ask about my least favorite heckles. Right. I remember I was in Albany. I think it was Albany at the Funny Bone, and very drunk woman, which is really the majority of interruptions that I've encountered. Right. And she's really yapping. And like, part of it is like, she's just talking. Part of it is she doesn't like me or whatever. But it was like this and I see, and she's there with like her husband, and I'm not some alpha bro or anything, but I'm like, this woman didn't show up today like this.
Yeah, right.
Like you should know either, hey, she is who she is. I can't go to shows with her.
Right.
But or on the third date when she yelled at a waiter or something, you should be like, this isn't a nice person. This person doesn't know how to behave. But once you're married 8 years at a show and she's yelling at some guy you've never heard of on stage in Albany, it's too late.
Yeah, right?
You've helped this process along. You've condoned it.
That should be a first date thing you have to do is go to a comedy club, because then you can see what their humor's like, if you're going to even be a match.
So anybody out there looking to do a first date in the next 30 hours, I've got 2 opportunities.
Where are you? Where are you? You
Laugh Camp, everybody. Laugh Camp.
Where is Laugh Camp?
St. Paul, Minnesota. That's as much as I know.
Oh, it's a great club. It's a really, really good club.
It's very close to I just know I can walk from my hotel, so I didn't even bother to write down the address. It's like, it's there. It's right there. So yeah, Laugh Camp, 8:00 tonight, 8:00 Saturday night. Great first date or 10th date or no date
at all
event.
Come on in. Now, if I miss your show, where can I catch you?
Thank you. I think I just got my manager.
Yeah, there you go.
JLComedy.com. All things J-L Cauvin related.
JL
Comedy.
Comedy.
Oh, I thought you were asking to prompt the audience. You really just wanted it for yourself.
You can pump the audience too.
JLComedy.com. It has links to my specials, one of which, Half Blackface, is on Amazon Prime right now.
That's a great title.
Yeah, I was very happy about
Blackface.
Yes.
I'm just going to look and say, you're from the Bronx.
Wonderful title.
Look Jewish.
I get that. I
get that all the time.
He's too big to be Jewish. Come on.
I get.
Because look at you.
There's actually a joke on my other special on YouTube called Tall Boy, where somebody came up to a friend and asked if I was Jerry Seinfeld. And I found that right. I don't see it, but some people see it. He wasn't the only person who's ever said this. And I said, but isn't the clue that I'm 6'7", 280? Like, don't you think that would have come up in Seinfeld's career? Like, Seinfeld's bigger than most NFL players. And Kramer is 7 feet tall. How incredible is that? Seinfeld, the largest cast in TV history.
Oh, man.
What time are your shows?
8 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Very easy to
Magnificent.
remember.
Any closing words on the economy? Anything we should look forward to?
We got a lot to look forward to.
We
A
do.
huge spike in ticket sales for Laugh Camp.
Yeah, we just saw that already.
So that's going to boost the. That's like the Taylor Swift effect.
Yeah, there is a big effect with Taylor Swift. The other night,
She just endorsed my show, by the way. I think that.
Oh, yeah, that's
I think that's pretty good. We're watching the debate, and a recap on the debates. The SO and I and her son, and it comes off. Taylor Swift endorses Kamala Harris, and I go, it's all over. All over. Don't even have to show up to the polls. It's all over. Kamala Harris has won the election just off Taylor Swift.
But she always endorses all her songs are about the wrong guy. How can it?
Well,
Very true.
that could be, but I'm just telling you. Here's a woman that generates with her concerts Super Bowl revenues to every city that she visits.
Mm-hmm.
That is an economic force. And the only way that I know that you can participate in her economic force is through owning, we'll say, Live Nation Entertainment. But that stock currently trading around $98 a share, down from a high, but up from a low. It has got a lot of, we'll call it, hair on it. You're losing a little hair.
No, but it's actually, this is like where it's been for about 5 years.
So maybe that's why people look at you and say, it could be Jerry Seinfeld. I'm just looking at the face,
right?
The glasses, the receding hairline.
I really preferred Sandler. I feel like I'm going down in looks as a Jewish comedian. Young Sandler to middle-aged Seinfeld. Next, I don't know what's next when I get old. They're gonna be like, dead Milton Berle.
There you go.
There you go. But in any case, so there's Live Nation has them hair on it because of issues related to Ticketmaster. People, oh my goodness, I went on Ticketmaster and the tickets were out of this world. Look at those fees that they charge. Well, are you buying the original tickets or are you getting somebody's trying to resell them? Oh, I have no idea because it's online. Now, I'm one of these people that I like the old way of getting tickets. You go up to the booth, you get the paper ticket. I don't have to worry about losing it or my phone not being charged when I go there. But there's Live Nation is the only way that I know to participate in Taylor Swift's economy. That said, next week the Federal Reserve meets and they're going to be talking about cutting interest rates, probably a quarter of 1%, which I didn't think they would do prior to the election. There are people talking that the Fed
they did this. Excuse me. They cut the rates. They cut the rates to screw me over. I've been telling them you got to cut the. I said no. Excuse me. I said cut the rates. I said cut the rates. Cut them fast. You got to do it. And they said no, sir. No, we're not going to cut the rates. And then all of a sudden, Koala Bear Harris is doing well in the polls, and they cut the rates. It's a disgrace. Jerome Powell is a nasty guy, and he's very bad. And I don't like it. And I say raise the rates. I say raise the rates. Until I get elected, raise them very strongly. Sorry.
That's awesome. You keep going. You keep going.
Why did you do the whole show like that?
I love this. Here it was.
That's the tease to get everybody to keep listening.
Oh yeah.
Pranked by some of the best, but to see the Donald right here in studio.
And we like Live Nation it's a good nation. I don't think it's as good as America. I think we have the best. A lot of people say we have the best nation. At least we did until Sleepy Joe destroyed it. But Live Nation is good. I think under Kamala Harris, it'll be Dead Nation. I think you're going to see ticket sales falling like you've never seen them before. Maybe there might not even be events Okay, we might have to cancel all events if Kombucha Harris gets elected. But the
Nobody says her name.
but the
wrong.
truth is, we like ticket, and the left probably doesn't even like Ticketmaster because
No, they don't. They don't like
it has the word master, and that's mean. That's like so they call it ticket boss because master is racist. So they say ticket boss, and they don't like bosses. They don't like successful, like me, by the way, very successful boss. And I wouldn't say the cake, and they called me the cake boss. And then he stole it. He stole it from me. Everybody steals from me. We have to do something about Live Nation because they're going to be a dead nation. They're going to be a very dead nation if we don't save them now. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's phenomenal. That is awesome.
It is. How long did it take you a while to work on that, or did it just come to you?
The crazy thing about being a comedian is that you get bored all the time with all your solitary time. I started trying a Trump in 2014 at like randomly. It was because he hadn't even announced. It was just sort of I just started trying to do it, and
You're from New York,
yeah,
and he stands out. In
sure.
New York.
And it was one of these things. It was very fast. It was like at the time it was much more New York, very fast. Okay, no, what we're talking about is you have to do this, and we have to talk about these people. Okay, we have a lot of people. And as he's gotten older, he's sort of slowed it down. He sometimes yes, we got to do this. We got to be on Tom's show. He's like, great. We love what you're doing. By the way, I've never listened to the show, but I've heard great things. It's a great show. We love this. Look at this big guy. We got he's Superman. He's bigger than Superman. I've seen Superman. Superman actually is a friend of mine, and this guy is actually bigger than Superman. Can you believe it? Big guy. We like that. And then we got my finance guy. This guy knows he knows a lot about the finance. You've never seen anybody who knows more. And now we're at more of a slow, except in the debate where he got very antsy. Now we're in more of a slow. We have finance. We're doing great things in terms of wealth, in terms of money. You've got to have money. It's very important. And then we've got obviously a big strong guy. He lifts a lot of weights. You should see. He gets in there and he says, "I got to lift the weights," and it's very strong. And then obviously we have Tom, and he's he used to be a big guy too. He lifts a lot of weight. We love that. He lifts a lot of weight. But that's just that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, and we're gonna keep doing it.
I got to show you something. How tall does Donald Trump claim to be?
6'3".
6'3". I am 6 feet tall. Does he look 3 inches taller than me?
He does not.
Have you ever seen that?
I have not actually seen that picture. No. Yeah, he does. He's not that. No.
He's the same height I am. And
that hat is given.
I
him 3
might give him
inches.
6'1". I might give him 6'1".
Yeah, I might give him 6'1", but not 6. Some days he says he's 6'4".
6'4", 220. I run a 4.340.
There's a closer for the show tonight, 8:00. Tomorrow night, 8:00.
Yes,
Laugh
sir.
Camp, ladies and gentlemen. What, 460 Robert Street? Isn't that the address?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got it right. You need to come back, man. This
Yeah.
is
That's awesome.
Oh, I know. I had so much fun. Thank you for having
We
me.
had as much fun and more than you did. Honest to God. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh, this is dragging. I looked at my watch. It was like, oh my God, the show's supposed to come to an end.
I love to hear that, and I hope
it's
the
true.
people will feel the same way at Laugh Camp.
You have got to use that voice on some endorsements because what's he going to do about it? It's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's the way I talk.
Mm-hmm.
What I strongly recommend is Trump pet safety for only $100. We will keep your pets safe from Haitian comedians who want to. He goes to the comedy club. He says, "I'll have the chicken fingers and a side of cat," and it's very nasty.
Does it taste like chicken?
It tastes like cat, which is not good. Cat is like nasty chicken.
You got to go see J-L tonight, tomorrow night, no question. That is going to do it. We will talk to you next week.
Wow.
Every time I hear the same reminds me how you talking.